What is up, guys? How's it going? We are back with another Q&A to help you with your health and fitness. I am Renata from Nourish with Renata. I'm an intuitive nutrition coach, and I'm here to empower you with your body, mind, and spirit. And of course, I am here with the amazing Mack. How's it going, Mack?
Hey everyone, going so well. Like she said, I'm Coach Mack, the founding health coach of Running with Bacon, where I help women feel like themselves again via fitness, one small step at a time.
Amazing. Okay, so this question is honestly one I feel like Mack is perfectly suited to answer. So the question is, and I quote, how do you get your kids to eat healthy snacks? Take it away.
Yes, well, full disclosure, I have no kids, so I don't know the answer to this question. I will offer my insights into what I share with my clients, some ideas that I might have, but ultimately listen to Renata's answer for this because it's going to be way better than mine. So the things that I have told my clients or tried to help them understand is that as adults, it's really easy to forget that kids don't yet have the awareness to evaluate how does this food make me feel. So as adults, we can eat a big old piece of cake and then go into a sugar coma and be like, ugh, I know it was from that cake. I feel gross. I need a nap, like all of that stuff. But as kids, they eat something and then they're still like, whether it's cake or whatever, they're bouncing off the walls. There's no connection made between the food and their feeling of their body. I'm sure once they get to a certain age, again, no kids, so I don't know what that age is, but I'm sure once they get to a certain age, they start developing that awareness. But until they do, it's on us as the adults to help them learn the difference between foods that can fuel us and make us feel good and foods that are maybe not the best choice all the time. Like they're okay to have sometimes, but not all the time. And so I would say if you're really struggling to get your kids to eat healthier, as in, they want the cartoon ones that are, all the sugary and processed foods, and you're just really having a hard time getting them to choose the banana or what have you, is I would say get them involved in like preparing or shopping for the healthy stuff. So maybe it's doing something like doing a ratio of for every one cartoon snack, they have to pick out 5 healthy snacks that they want, whether it's like a banana and apple, or you know what I mean? So do something like that where they are actually involved in the decision making. And then when it comes time to eat the healthy snack, you're like, well, you've already had one of those. Now it's time for one of these healthy snacks. And if they're like, I don't like any of those. Well, you picked them. So, you know what I mean? It just kind of helps combat that stuff of like, oh, I don't want to. And I also think kids don't really know the difference of, and most adults don't for that matter too, it took me a while to learn, is if they're just bored or if they're actually hungry. And so advice I hear all the time is if you're not hungry enough to eat an apple, you're not actually hungry. So I don't know how that would go, like telling a kid that. They might just get mad. I'm not sure, because again, I don't have kids, but those are my initial thoughts, is to just give them some ownership over the snacks and help them get more involved. And then, see how it goes from there. And if you're still having troubles, ask Renata.
Great advice there. No, I totally agree with you about ownership, whether it is picking out the ingredients at the store or helping you cook at home, even prepping the snacks. I think those are fantastic ways for kids to really feel like they are a part of the decision making in the household. It gives them that independence, it gives them that authority. So 100% agree with you there. I have 3 more tips to add, because I really feel like this is something that so many of us as parents really can feel like is challenging on a day-to-day basis. So the first thing that I would recommend is always have healthy snacks available. So I always have lots and lots of fruits and vegetables at a height that my kids can reach. And it's something like, particularly with the fruit bowl, when it is apparent in front of you, it's going to be the first thing that you think about because it's right in front of you. It's in a very obvious place that it will be at the front of your mind. Similarly with the fridge. So I keep like baby carrots and snap peas and things like that in the drawer that my kids can easily reach. I keep the like berries and things in the drawer that my kids can easily reach. And so it doesn't need to be something that I have to get up and interrupt whatever I'm doing in order to get them a snack. It's something that they know they can reach for straight away. they have that ownership, that authority to be able to get it themselves. And that just helps, once again, to make sure we have healthy options more readily available than we would other things. I mean, we do have crackers, we do sometimes have cookies and other things available too, but for the most part, healthy snacks are in abundance in my household. The second tip I would have is educate. So this is one of the things that I really and truly believe most schools are starting to get into nowadays. It's teaching kids about food. And this is something that I have decided to do with my kids from a really young age. I mean, Mac, you've seen them on lives and things that I've done in my Facebook group. I'm teaching them how to cook. I'm teaching them about nutrition so that when I say to my daughter, for instance, hey, the reason why you're not full is because you haven't had enough protein, she knows, okay, that means I can go and get some Greek yogurt. I can grab some nuts, some nut butter, seed butter, that kind of thing. I know that that is protein when I am not feeling full, because obviously protein has the highest satiation factor. It helps us to feel fuller for longer. So they know what that means. They know how that relates to their bodies. And obviously, this is something that takes time to educate them with and for them to remember. But starting that off as young as possible is going to be so helpful for them, not just in these years as kids, but when they leave the nest, so to speak, they go to college, they know how to look after themselves too. So education is key. And just like you said, Max, there are so many adults that don't know these things too. So it's a great opportunity to educate yourself if you feel like you need a little bit of extra help in this area. The third tip I will have is one that is not even necessarily about the snacks themselves or getting people to eat healthy. It is really about celebrating every single small win. And so the reason why I say that is oftentimes when it comes to healthy snacking or healthy eating in general, if we don't eat healthy 100% of the time, we're literally beating ourselves up and like poo-pooing ourselves and like throwing in the towel and being like, that's it, I'm just gonna go eat a whole cheesecake. But that doesn't have to be the case. And unfortunately, that way of thinking about food is really detrimental to your overall long-term well-being. So instead, every time your kid tries a spoonful of mushy peas, every time your kid eats a piece of an apple instead of a candy bar, celebrate that. Be like, yes, I'm so glad that you tried that. That's awesome. Show your kids that you celebrate when you have something healthy. Like, for instance, if you had a salad at lunch and they see you, be like, wow, that salad made me feel so good. I'm so proud of me for choosing a healthy option. All of these things are wins. They don't have to be huge wins, but every tiny thing that you do helps you to build that consistency, build those habits so that you do make healthy eating a way of life and not just something that you do intermittently. So those are my 3 tips to help your kiddos eat some healthy snacks.
I love those tips. By the way, Renata shares tips like these all the time. So if you're not already following her, please do that because they're really good. And I love how you mentioned about schools maybe starting to teach this stuff because it's kind of bananas when we think about it. No pun intended with bananas. But it's wild that schools don't teach this basic type of stuff. Like, I still remember Pythagorean's theorem, but I don't ever remember learning in middle school or high school, like, how should a person actually eat? Like, what's good for it? There was none of that. And so again, it just seems wild that something that we do 2 to 3 times a day, eating or more, if you're like you and you're a big snacker, that you would think that we would have more education about that. So I love what you said about educating yourself so that then you can help educate your kids, because it really can become a family activity. For most, it seems like most households nowadays, food and cooking and prepping and all those things, it's become such a chore, but it really can be a fun family activity where you get to try things and make memories and laugh and learn and all those things. Food can be a really good vehicle to have that whole experience, not just whatever the food is on the plate. So I love it.
So good. Food is the best way to bond, like no matter what it is, it's the perfect way to create memories with your family. So go ahead and try those tips. I think they're amazing. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and we will be back with another question very, very soon. Thanks, guys.